Hello, weebs. Welcome back. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We are your hosts. I am David. We got Jerry. We got Kenny. This is episode 17. We're back from a long winter break. That was definitely needed.
I believe
we're happy to be back.
When this episode airs, we will officially have been off for 4 straight weeks, but we're back in it. Yeah, I think with this, we probably go back to weekly like we had done for the previous 16 weeks when we did the show. So we should be back in the game after this, right, boys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe have some actual guest stars on. No, I'm just...
Well, we've had guest
that
stars.
Jade?
I know
Was
one
that
of our biggest issues like during the holidays was we legitimately had 3 other people that we attempted to have on the show, and a lot of scheduling conflicts, just issues. And I should have guessed it was literally between Thanksgiving and Christmas that we were trying to schedule all this. So
Tough
like
time.
It was really not the best time for most people, including us. So, I mean, it's our fault a little bit. But hopefully we get those 3 people worked into the schedule this semester, potentially. One did have some tech issues that might not make it happen for him, unfortunately. But the other 2 should be able to do it some point this season, or half a season. I say we're still in season 1. I don't know how fucking podcasts work, honestly. You just kind of... I see some people that are like, oh, podcast season 1, episode 967. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
You're like, that sounds like you have never not had any season.
Right, yeah, well, I call it season 1 still. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
It's a very long season.
But yeah, hopefully we get them on this in the next soon. We'll get them on soon.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So, David, what are we on about tonight, huh?
So we're going to talk for 2 hours straight about chapter 1000 of One Piece by the amazing Goda Sensei. What do you guys think about it? Is anyone you guys want to start?
Yeah, I guess we have to. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're in the comments, if you're listening at home, if you're a One Piece fan and you haven't read it yet, go read chapter 1000 before you listen to this. We're going to spoil the hell out of it. I mean, you just have to be prepped for that with this sort of episode. If you've never watched or read any One Piece, I think you could probably make it through this discussion. And while you might get some spoilers, you may not be able to really connect the dots if you don't know anything about One Piece. So you could probably bail, or you could probably listen to this episode through and then go watch One Piece afterwards, because you're going to be like, holy shit, that sounds really interesting. And then go watch it. But honestly, by the time you get to chapter 1000, you will have long forgotten this conversation. You would be like, what the fuck did they talk about? I have no idea. Arlong? You know what I mean? That you'd be so confused and concerned that I'm not sure that there would be much of an issue there. So feel free to listen along if you know nothing about One Piece. But certainly if you don't want to be spoiled and you're pretty caught up, or maybe you're an anime-only watcher, this would not be the best conversation for you, as the manga is still in the same arc that the anime is in. So this is pretty significant spoilers for anime-only watchers. And also pretty significant spoilers, obviously, if you're a manga reader and you haven't read 1000. But if you're a manga reader and you haven't read chapter 1000, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know what.
I think I'm surprised.
Everybody's talking about it.
I'm surprised Shonen Jump's website held up on that day. I mean, I don't think it ever crashed, to my knowledge.
No,
but
I had no problems.
I'm just surprised that it held up, because I assume traffic was heavy as hell. It was trending on Twitter. The post of the chapter is now like one of the most awarded posts on Reddit of all time. Did you guys hear this? So
No, I didn't.
The post of the chapter's release, you know how like Reddit has awards now? You can like give things gold and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think they've always had it, but now it's like more prevalent. They're like, blah, blah, blah. The chapter thread is like the 5th most awarded thread on Reddit of all time or something. Which is pretty impressive. And yeah, like I said, trending on Twitter. The chapter obviously was monumental. There's very few manga that have 1000 weekly chapters that have been released. And obviously we're coming up on One Piece's 25th anniversary in the next, I believe in the next 2 years. Will put us at 25 years of continualized serialization, which is ridiculous to think about in the long run. 25 years of pretty much almost the entirety of our existences. One Piece has been being serialized weekly. One guy has been sitting in Japan writing this shit for 25 years straight, every single week. And
Crazy.
10 years ago, it was not as big a deal as it is today. It was certainly a big deal. 15 years ago, it was almost, I would say, the weakest of the big three in some ways. And now it is incomparable and one of the largest largest things in the anime and manga world. It's almost impossible to think of anime without thinking of One Piece at this point, which is very interesting to think about, because it's not that there's not other anime that have had the same longevity or the same, there's a couple of other ones, right? Sazai-san, Doraemon, Kochikame. There are tons of other series that have reached these sorts of milestones, but never in the amount of like international acclaim. Obviously, no one touches it in sales. One Piece eclipsed Dragon Ball a couple years back, and it never turned back. I mean, Dragon Ball may never catch back up. Now we are in this, and we all read chapter 1000. Yeah. I read it right when it dropped. I had to.
Same.
So let me just tell you, okay? She's joining the crew, guys. Yamato is for sure joining the crew. I think she's in. Like I think
so too. I hope she does. I like her character.
Yeah, I think crew proper. She's fully joining the crew.
Okay, so she's clearly a foil for Odin, right? So, Odin's character, we know, rode with Roger from Wano to Laughtail, and then was dropped back off at Wano afterwards, right? I don't think that I mean, I think some people might consider Odin a member of Roger's crew or a member of Whitebeard's crew to an extent. He kind of sailed with both of them. I think that's what Yamato is, though. Like, to me, like, Yamato is going to ride with them for some extended period. I think, unless he dies in Wano, which I think is not out of the question or out of the possibility. I haven't ruled that out yet. But
Luffy?
No,
Luffy's gonna die?
Yamato could die.
Yamato's joining the crew.
I think Yamato could die.
You heard it here first.
I guess Yamato's a guy?
Yamato is a guy. Well, okay, David, have you read about this?
I'm behind.
So here's the deal. So Yamato, in their official translations, they're using he/him pronouns, okay? And that's because of the way that Oda is writing it, supposedly in Japanese, with he/him pronouns. And the reasoning was given by Yamato just briefly in one chapter when he appeared, in that he claims to be a male and that he is Odin. He believes himself to be Odin.
Oh, I see.
So he believes, he is essentially, I mean, for lack of a better word, sort of someone that would be maybe gender fluid, or someone that might be somewhere else in the gender spectrum, because they don't believe themselves to be what they appear, and that's the case. Which is why, if you remember, David, Kaido, before they revealed Yamato, was referred to Yamato as his son. Remember, it was his son. Then we were like, "What? That's a girl." And then it was like, "No, he believes himself to be a guy. He thinks he's a guy."
I see.
So it's a very interesting choice of language here. With I don't know. It's just an interesting flip, in my opinion, for Oda, because this is not the only character in Wano that did this. Because if you remember, I'm forgetting his name. Otsutsuki, maybe? Is that his name?
Who?
Oh, one of the ninjas, or the samurai.
One of the Azakaya 9 is a male at birth, but identifies as a woman. And that's another one that Oda just kind of like threw in there, and I don't think anyone really like messed with it too much. It's the person that's related to the guy the guy that's on Whitebeard's crew. Huh?
Kanjuro?
No, there's a guy on Whitebeard's crew that's from Wano, and he showed up in Onigashima. They're related. The guy, I think is it not? I want to say it's Otsutsuki, but maybe I'm just completely bupping that name. There's the Otsutsu type names in Wano really get me confused.
There's a lot.
Honestly, all the Wano names have started to get me really like.
And some of the Wano characters, like, sort of like look the same.
They just all look the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, dude. You're like,
who is that?
except for fucking Yasui. You know who Yasui is, guys. He's
and the worst part is that like the prostitute is that she had a name, but actually she was the other girl, which was Odin's daughter, and so like to add to our confusion, one character has had two names now.
Yeah.
Yes, no, you're right, because it was when we first meet her, she's the courtesan that works in, but then obviously, surprise, it's Momo's older or younger sister that is now older.
Younger sister that's now older, And so it's just, I don't know. And the two little girls look the same.
I totally boofed that. Otsutsuki is Kaguya's last name in Naruto Shippuden. I don't know where I'm at.
Okay.
Kiku Nojo is the name of the character. Kiku is what she goes by. Kiku. Kiku is a man. Oda very clearly states that, but dresses as a woman. And that's like a part of their character as well.
Very cool. I think that representation in anime is cool.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, especially because Oda has just always gotten a lot of shit because of Kambaka Kingdom. Well, Kambaka Kingdom also. He just has maybe not been the best bastion of trans representation in gender fluidity in manga and anime is what I'm saying, right? The entire Kambaka Kingdom and essentially like Sanji's, I mean, he's a little like homophobic in some ways, but then there was this, Sanji went through a redemption arc, right? He got to live on Kambaka King. He got his, so I don't know. I mean, I think in early One Piece, Oda got a lot of crap for it. Maybe he has gotten redeemed in some ways. He's definitely worked hard to incorporate things into his story now. Because, I mean, again, he started this shit 25 years ago and almost 25 years ago. Public opinion and just the way I'm sure he's changed his perception and conceptualization of the way characters present themselves. So I really find it interesting that he has presented two, what I would consider complex characters, an opportunity to shine, that are both sort of on the spectrum of gender. Really cool conversation to be had around that.
Yeah, but bottom line is Yamato's joining the crew for sure. They're getting on the boat, and they're going to be absolutely a part of the new crew. They're the 11th member. Now, we just got Jinbei, and now we're getting Yamato.
I disagree. I see Yamato as a temporary member. You know what I mean?
No, full-time member.
No, I see Yamato as a
Yamato
Law.
ain't no Vivi, bro.
Right, like Law is not a member of the crew, but Law has been sailing on the Strawhat Pirates ship for a long time. Vivi is not
he'll still sail with them, though.
Right. I think Law is going to join the fleet.
I think.
Well, certainly. I think at the end of the series, Law is going to be a part of the Grand Fleet. We already have so many members of the Grand Fleet from Dressrosa alone. And then, I mean, arguably, Beje is probably going to sail with them, right?
Yeah.
From Whole Cake. I mean, I don't see
we got to see what happens with Kid.
And I fully believe that there's going to be a mink. I think, and people are going to give me shit for this because people want Carrot to join the crew. I think Carrot is going to lead a mink crew. Mink. Right. I think she's going to lead her own sailing ship of minks. That's going to be their own pirate. I think she has her own intentions. I don't think she has any intention of being on the Straw Hats.
No, I don't think so either.
And people are like, nah, Carrot. Nah. I think Carrot has every intention of being her own fleet of minks that will travel and finally get to see the world. That sort of thing. I think that would be really cool to have her as this sort of mink,
like ambassador.
Yeah. I think that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. Now that I think we're fully into this battle portion. Will any of the Royal Straw Hat Fleet show up now? I mean, the island's out of the water, right? But it's not impossible to get, because I think that they are still a little outgunned. Like the whole Izakaya 9 are out of commission. Right?
Yeah, because they are, as far as we see in Chapter 1000, they seem to all be down. Yeah, I mean, and Law already teleported them back into the main part of Onigashima, so out of the roof, assumingly so Chopper can take care of them.
Right. Marco and Sanji are there to deal with Queen and King.
Queen and King. Yep. Marco and Sanji are downstairs handling, as well as the Toby Roppo are down there. And I mean, you've got Jinbei fighting Toby Roppo. You've got the Minks fighting Toby Roppo. You've got Drake fighting Toby Roppo down there. Well, Drake's actually fighting Queen too.
Yeah, I think they're a little outgunned.
Because down in the main part, you've got Hawkins, Apu, Queen, King, the rest of the Toby Roppo, and then obviously just the confounding army. Although Queen just kind of like murders his own people, which is frustrating. Yeah. Queen's an interesting. Queen's an interesting animal.
Don't really get the intentions there.
Fucking Prospero is down there too, right?
Who is that?
Wait, I thought Marco took care of him.
Did he take? I can't remember if Prospero made it. He's
Marco
down.
was beating ass, bro.
I couldn't remember. Well, Marco was also holding off King and Queen by himself. Yeah, in chapter 1000, you see his ass. You see his ass beast off both of them, and I said, okay, Marco.
Remember when Ace said 999, bro?
Yeah.
They both of them were like, "We'll go with you, Ace," and then he was like, "Oh, well, then I think we're strong enough. Then
yeah,
we're already ready."
I do think that it's very interesting. I've liked in 999 and in 1000 the Ace flashback that we've kind of gotten here. Both the clips of him on Whitebeard's ship were really cool. Just sort of making this decision like, oh, I want to go to Wano, I'm going to go take down Kaido, blah, 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 blah. We don't really know, so we kind of understand that he gets there, Kaido's just out of town, which I thought was kind of a cop-out for Oda, because, Oda could not make it to where, like, Ace and Kaido clashed. So, I don't know, I thought it was an interesting, like, decision. He's like, oh, wait, Ace was there, but, oh, yeah, he didn't fight Kaido because Kaido was out. Kaido was handling other things. And I was like, okay, whatever.
Do you think it was just like a forced plot device to?
Well, I mean,
for like Yamato to have like met Ace and then like had this appreciation for Luffy.
Right. Ace did have to go to Wano. That was established a long time ago that he stopped by there. But I think that Oda didn't establish that Kaido had like such strong governmental control over Wano until later. And so I think that maybe this is his way of kind of writing around that and saying like, oh yeah, Ace did go, but Kaido was out of town. And I think that that's just like a little bit of an oddity, unless Oda can show us what Kaido was doing. And it's true. I mean, we do know that Kaido was out a lot. We've seen clips of Kaido on other islands, especially because he attempted to
other shit.
If you guys remember, his introduction was that he was trying to kill himself, which was
So
I don't know, like
kill me.
Right, like there's sort of still that oddity at hand to me. I wonder if Kaido's going to fall back on that as he like actually loses to Luffy, like sort of like, oh, maybe I can die. I'm expecting that. He seems fucking depressed, and like Kaido is the most like depressed and like just fucked up.
He's an alcoholic.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's a fucking alcoholic.
Like Luffy's about to beat that ass too.
His fucking daughter thinks he's a boy. It's like he is like just absolutely fucked, and he's just like, man, I just don't want to do this no more. But he's like, fuck it, I'll just live. I mean, he just fucking murdered Snake Boy, I can't even think of his name right now. Orochi.
He did.
Straight up murdered him, just like, Kaido, dude, are you good, man? Like,
Kaido,
I don't think he's well, is all I'm saying.
Kaido's like the first character with like really Yakuza, I don't know, like he's got Yakuza tattoos and shit.
Oh yeah.
So like, I don't know, like he's sort of an interesting character. And I think that Big Mom is also like, I don't know, just like mentally unwell.
Oh yeah. I mean, Big Mom's not doing too great either. I think so too. She's not doing too hot.
Remember she bonked her head and Chopper was like friends with her or whatever.
Another small, I mean, I found that to be a really cool, I actually liked Oda's storytelling there. I thought it was really strong watching Big Mom reintegrate, go through that. I thought it was an interesting little component to throw in. But just to see that like Big Mom could be such a great ally to the world potentially, I think that's something I am curious if at the end of this, like
everybody's joining the Royal Straw Hat Fleet,
right?
Bro.
Luffy has this thing that when he fights someone, they like him. you know?
Mhm.
And really the only
He
like
beats their ass and they're friends.
yeah, and even like when he showed up just now on the roof on chapter 1000 and Big Mom's like, Luffy, bruh, you blew up my island. You owe me, dude. She was very like jovial in her reaction to him, despite him literally like coming through and like kicking her shit in. And it's like she seems much more like attuned to what Luffy's doing, and even in some ways maybe I love, and yeah, I think that Kaido and her are like super drunk, and I think that's sort of implied right now that they're both like actually alcohol, like under the influence of alcohol, because they were partying like heavy before all this. But it's still funny just to see them being very like jovial. Kaido and Big Mom are very menacing villains, but they're not in the same way that like Blackbeard is or like Doflamingo was, right? Like I see some like, and I think letting Big Mom like hang out with the Straw Hats for a part of Wano has helped to like create this image that they could both maybe not shift sides completely, but be seen as as not good presences, but not against Luffy at this point in time. If that makes sense.
And there's no Navy representative right now currently like on Wano. So like before,
that's true.
Before it seems like whenever Luffy would beat someone, they would get arrested. And I think that whenever Luffy wins, like that's it. Like nobody's gonna come arrest these people.
Right.
Nobody's gonna come take Kaido and Big Mom to jail. Like I don't even know if they could do that.
Yeah, could you? Yeah.
Is the Navy powerful enough to accomplish that?
Yeah.
So that's why I think Oda's giving us a new out.
They'll get carried off and they'll go relax and chill, and then they'll come back. And I don't think they'll be. I think that they both are characters that Oda has played with enough that I would not be upset narratively if both characters didn't exactly like flip, but it became less as a like direct antagonist. Especially because we're leading up to the fact that like Blackbeard is the main antagonist of this story. Like that motherfucker's evil. Like you know,
he got two fruits.
Like, that man is evil, and
he got 2 fruits. Luffy's definitely getting a second fruit, right?
Like, I don't know, man. That would be crazy. That'd blow my mind if that were.
I mean, he basically does with his like Fire Fist. Gear 2 and Gear 3. He's like basically has Ace's power.
I think the next step for Luffy is not Gear 4 or not Gear 5. I think he's gonna awaken his Devil Fruit.
Oh yeah.
I think that makes the most sense to me.
He's gonna start turning things into rubber.
Right. He's gonna start bouncing shit off shit. You know what I mean? Like he already kind of has like with when he's in Gear 4, he's got that Colvarin move where he can bounce off the air. But I just imagine things where he can like stomp the ground and it'll rubber underneath him or some shit. And he can fucking uppercut him.
Move that I really remember specifically from Mucha Lucha. He's gonna do the Ricochet pinball attack.
Polarizing pinball.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that
shit!
move.
Shut up,
Ricochet. One hit KO.
One hit KO.
Right.
I remember how he used to do it, man.
Right. So Chapter 1000 did a couple things that I really just loved, and like Oda didn't. I feel like he did feel a bit of a, like he had to do something epic in Chapter 1000. It didn't feel that forced to me though, and it doesn't feel like, I feel like Chapter 1012 is going to be like the actual most epic chapter. You know what I mean? Like Oda has to let his story progress naturally, and I feel like he wasn't just going to jump ship to like make 1000 badass. Like he was still going to let it just play out naturally. But a couple really sick moments happened right in Chapter 1000 that I think are worth noting. Obviously, the
Luffy Shunpo. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
Yes. Well, that's the David.
Boom.
the punch, dude. I know that he gonna knock the color out of Kaido when that shit's animated.
Oh yeah.
He gonna punch the color out of him.
Will it be episode 1000?
It's gonna be dangerously close, Kenny. They're like almost right on par right now, which is kind of annoying, but it's gonna be dangerously close. If they may make it on purpose, episode 1000. But no. So the first moment, right, that this chapter opens with everyone getting to the roof. That's the first thing you see, right? And that's dope. And then it clips away before we actually see them on the roof for this moment with Yamato and Momo, where Momo is still trying to understand. She's got his dad's logbook now, which I think is really cool. I'm really curious what that's going to open up for Momo. I assume that we're going to leave Momo on Wano, by the way. That's my theory. My theory is that when this arc concludes, Momo will become the rightful heir and be left on Wano to look after it, probably with the Akazaya 9 as his retainers as well.
Right.
I do think I'm surprised one of the 9 haven't died yet, but I have a suspicion one might. I think that would be interesting. I hope it's not Kinemon, because I think Kinemon's amazing. But right, so we see this flashback that is really just this lead up to like Ace claims to have predicted, Odin / Ace, that the new generation will take down Kaido, and then boom, you get that flash of like the fucking double page spread that made everybody nut this week. Where the 5 worst generation members are fucking standing across from Kaido and Big Mom. And you're like, oh, and Kaido's like, so this man thinks he's gonna be Pirate King. And as he's like fucking messing with him, Luffy's just walking forward, just like walking right by his ass. I thought that was dope. That's gonna look so cool animated, by the way. As long as Toei doesn't drop the ball, that scene can be dope. He walks right by him and goes straight to Kinemon. And this is the moment that fucked me up, dude. When he looks at Kinemon, and Kinemon's got his ass beat, and Kinemon's like, dude, I'm dying, and I'm gonna go to the afterlife, and I won't have anything to show Odin. Like, we didn't do anything, we fucked up. And Luffy was like, I'll put I think Kinemon said something like, will you put Wano on your back? And Luffy was like, I'm about to put all Wano on my back, boy.
I do it for my friend.
Yeah.
And
like
that whole
bro.
Just the Kinemon's like,
yeah. Then he dirty cried. Oda loves a good dirty cry.
Yeah, my Nakama, bro. That's what he said, bro. It said friend on the translation, but he said Nakama. My Nakama, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you get the very quick action sequence of Luffy says, Law, get them out of here. Boom, they're gone. Kaido swings his club. Luffy dodges that shit in a hot split second. He jumps up in the air. He goes gear fucking 3 and boofs out some sort of new combo attack of his new hockey. The internal explosion hockey, essentially.
I thought he's done that move before. Red Rock? I thought he's done that one.
No, he did Red Hawk.
Right. It is an evolution of that move to introduce the hockey he learned in he was practicing the hockey with Hyogoro. I believe this integrates that new hockey, because when he first fought Kaido, if you remember, when Wano first started, the one thing he kept being confused about was like, my hockey isn't fucking working. And then he has that moment of understanding. He trains with Hyogoro in the prison and gets it. We don't really see it on screen, if I remember correctly. It's kind of implied that Luffy figured it out somewhere in there, but he practiced really, really hard to figure it out.
We skipped like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, it skips ahead. There's like a training that happens as they go to confront. So this is actually the first time, because even though Luffy's been on Onigashima throughout all this thing, has he other than a punch here or there to like knock people out of the way, he has not done anything of consequence. No. So, to be honest, there was just a couple shots where, when he's going up the stairs, he would literally like fucking swat people out of the way, which was pretty funny. Just to show,
Sanji would just be whacking them.
It just shows how like far ahead they were. Like they're just that much more powerful than most of everyone else on the island. So this is the first real instance of Luffy unleashing. Because holy shit, he like learned that. There was the time skip. There was the Odin flashback, which lasted for fucking ever. Then we get back to the main timeline. They go to Onigashima. We've been caught up in all this. Kanjuro's a traitor. Momo gets kidnapped. Orochi gets fucking murdered. All this shit. This is really the first like fight Luffy's been in. In goddamn 70 chapters or something.
Since he was fighting Flamingo.
Right. Well, I mean, he fought Kaido when he first showed up on Wano. briefly.
I forgot. Big Mom was in between,
and he did fight Queen in the prison briefly as well.
Oh yeah.
There was a brief tuffle there. Nothing where he went all out or anything.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's
nothing
because
crazy
he was
happened
wearing
for a
sea
while.
stone also during most of the prison arc, so he couldn't go all out. So yeah, this is like Luffy's first like all out since his fight with Kaido / his fight with Doflamingo and Dressrosa.
Yeah, really. I
Um,
mean, like he had the.
Or no,
emotional
sorry,
fight.
not Dressrosa. In Whole Cake was right before this.
Yeah, but he didn't really have a big. Well, he fought Cracker. And,
What?
oh no, he fought
Katakuri.
Katakuri. Right.
He had a
yeah.
massive
Yeah,
like 20 chapter long fight with
Yeah,
Katakuri.
but then he got
Yeah.
like stabbed, and then like Katakuri stabbed himself too. And,
Yeah, and also, I mean, he had to power up during that fight. So
Yeah.
there, you're right. He like lost.
That
He
was
like
Snake Man.
he snuck away through the mirrors, got some time to like level up, power up, and came back for round 2.
yeah,
Um,
and then
kind of
he's gone through
interesting.
another level up since then.
Right. So this is another. We've now moved beyond again. Yeah, and that's something interesting. Yeah, just to see, and it's still flashing back. I mean, if we remember when he did both those level ups, there were still flashbacks to his training with Rayleigh from the 2-year time skip.
So he's not even
whatever.
He
My boy
hasn't even reached
Luffy.
Final Form,
My
okay?
boy Luffy dropped Red Rock on Kaido's ass and smashed his ass right into the fucking concrete, bro. Oh my god.
He was not expecting it. He was not expecting it.
I about shit my pants. I
Yeah, bro.
said
I'm the man.
he popped that boy. Oh, Luffy is a part of the certified pull-up gang, like of shonen protagonists. This man pulls up. He pulls the fuck up, yo. Like, has Luffy ever been scared to roll up on someone? Like, never, dude.
No, bro. Not since the time.
That's not
skip,
Luffy.
No.
especially.
Even
Oh,
in
yeah.
pre-time skip, he rolled up on people for no reason. Like, he rolled up on them. He rolled up on fucking Crocodile with a bucket of water on his back, and he still pulled up on him.
Yep. Yeah, it's just before he has gotten into like, I don't know. It felt like things were hampering him. Like I remember in Impel Down, whenever he fought
Right.
that Magellan,
He got his ass
Like-
whooped by Magellan.
it was just like it was like weak, you know. Like Luffy was certifiably weak, and now like the only time that Luffy is not battling the next bad guy is whenever he is running forward to get to them,
Yeah.
and that's how it's been for like 3 arcs now.
Yeah.
Like he's just running forward to fight the next big bad guy.
It is interesting because Oda does something with Luffy that a lot of shonen won't do, and that's that he's just never been afraid to like let Luffy just like get obliterated. Like
Yeah.
Luffy
Mhm.
loses all the fucking time, and I think that's part of what makes him such a like. It just makes him such a versatile shonen protagonist because most of the other shonen protags that you can name, even if they get pushed to their limits or to their rope, generally they save the day in the end, right? Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you know,
although
Deku taps into 100%, or you know what I mean? Like, there's always some turnaround moment or someone shows up to save their life, but Luffy just, he just loses all the time. Like,
Mhm.
he showed up to Wano and then just like lost to Kaido, like literally
Yeah.
just got his ass whooped.
and then like went to jail and
yeah,
shit.
and like went to jail, and that's just Oda just being unafraid to just be like, oh yeah, my hero can lose, like my hero can cry and feel defeat and have to pull himself back up and work through that and learn how to learn from defeat and learn from failure, which is something that most shonen protagonists just don't do. They don't ever fail, so they don't have to ever learn from it. They just always, Deus Ex Machina their way through it. I mean, they plot hacks right through it.
I would say there's one manga author that does a really good job of having his characters fail,
Who?
and that's Yoshihiro Togashi.
You're not
Think
wrong.
about Gon.
You're
Gon
not
loses a lot. Like I would say that Gon loses more often than he wins.
You're not wrong. Togashi's kind of a good. He's just too good at what he does.
And Yusuke. I mean, look at Yusuke. Yusuke gets his ass beat all the time.
David, did you ever watch all Hunter x Hunter? You did, right?
I've seen all of Hunter, yeah.
Oh, okay. Phew. I was like, fuck.
I'm
I
about to
didn't
say,
even know.
I could count on my hand
I
how
was
many
worried.
times Gon like fully wins.
Yeah,
He wins at the end of Greed
Togashi-
Island.
I mean, you got to remember that Oda is definitely inspired by Togashi. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
they're kind of contemporaries, but Togashi kind of predates him a little bit.
Yeah, because he had Yu Yu Hakusho before.
Yeah, right. Hunter x Hunter and One Piece aired like almost simultaneously. So Hakusho had already come and gone. And I think that Oda gets some inspiration from that generation in a lot of ways. And I think that...
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, I was...
1,000 Hunter x Hunter chapters.
We could, right? Right. If Hunter x Hunter had never stopped...
We got like 300.
We got like 300 chapters.
I think it would have ended before then, I think.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Togashi has a pretty definitive end in mind. So I don't think he would have made it to 1,000. But he could have maybe fucking finished his story by now.
I think maybe there's 200 more chapters of Hunter x Hunter left. Maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? We may never know.
Yeah, we may never know. What's up, David?
I was gonna say to continue on the theme of shonen protagonists that get their shit kicked out a lot. I think Ichigo, he's like, I don't think he loses more than he's won. I think it's like a pretty tight balance.
Ichigo kind of like, he beats Ikaku and then beats Kenpachi and then beats Rinju.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like he loses, he loses someone weaker and then he beats someone stronger.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Kubo had a really bad power scaling issue, and I'm on my I'm on my rewatch right now, and I'm up to the part that I literally just watched yesterday is when he beats Grimjow, right? And then Neutra shows up, and Neutra fucking offs Grimjow right in front of him, and Neutra's like, okay, now I'm gonna whoop your ass. And then obviously right as Ichigo's like on the ropes, first Nell transforms and is like, surprise, I was number 3 Arrancar. And then Neutra is like, oh, look, the numbers have changed, so I'm stronger than you now, Nell. Knocks Nell out of the way. And then right as they're about to lose again, all the captains show up. It's like Unohana, Mairi, Kenpachi, and Byakuya show up.
Yeah.
And they just, they literally just like step on the, like Kubo was like, here are 4 of the strongest Arrancar, and the captains just show up and eat them. It's like not even like I'm not done with this little part yet. We just watched Byakuya ate the dude that turns into the bubble and has all the eyes on him. That literally the last episode I watched when Byakuya was like, you only have 50 eyes. Well, I can scatter my Senbon Sakura into 51 parts. And I was like,
he gets wrecked, bro.
I was like, Kubo, you rat bastard. But Kenpachi shows up and again still no Shikai, just like chops Neutra. And
no, he has to hold his sword with both hands though.
Bro, I forgot. He has it. We're about to get to that. That's one of the episodes we're about to be on. I forgot he puts his hands on both. Oh my god.
Like, bitch, and that's it. That's it. Right. He kills Neutra just like that.
After this, literally Kubo doesn't give any time for grace. Like, after this part, Ichigo just is strong enough to beat Ulquiorra, like, in the next part. Like, he just doesn't do any. Like, Kubo did show, and I'll give him this, he did show Ichigo get his ass whooped by Ulquiorra first. But there was no buffer between... Nothing changes about Ichigo between him getting his ass whooped and him beating Ulquiorra. Like, there's no... You know what?
Well, he transforms into the, I can't remember the name of it, but
he goes
his hollow version. He goes like full hollow.
Yeah, but why? What at all led us to believe that he should? The plot literally goes, loses to Ulquiorra, gets healed by Orihime, beats Grimjow, gets beat by Neutra, gets healed by Orihime, beats Ulquiorra. That's literally the progress of the plot.
Loses to Ulquiorra, transforms into Hollow.
Oh, it's on the ropes, right? It's on the ropes.
It's on the ropes.
I think that whenever a negative transformation, like Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter do it best. Whenever a negative power transformation happens, the main character has to pay for that. Right? Whenever Yusuke gets taken over by his grandfather,
which eventually
he has to pay for that.
Kubo does do something cool in that his final fight with Aizen, he loses his Shinigami powers.
Yeah, but he gets it back.
Then he gets it back.
Shit!
Then he gets
yeah,
right. He gives them up.
He get him back. He unlocks a new power and finds out that he has Quincy powers.
One Piece Chapter 1000 podcast is now turned into Roast Bleach podcast.
Just Jerry, the end of Bleach, the last couple.
I still feel, I'm doing this anime rewatch to prep myself to watch the new season because I never read the last season in the manga. And I mean, part of me feels like I should read it before I watch it. I feel like I should just.
I don't know.
I should just prepare myself for it to be.
It might be better in anime form.
Right, in anime form, it's gonna be fucking fast paced. The animation is gonna be slick. It's gonna be fully high budget. They just have to animate what's there. You know, with the right team behind it, it could be really freaking dope.
Yeah, and the art looks great. That last arc of Bleach looks amazing.
Oh yeah, Kubo just loved drawing.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Which, by the way,
wait. Even
is there any?
What's up, David?
Oh, sorry, go Kenny.
Think about Kubo's new thing in Burn the Witch. My man kills the dragon by just having the dude fire the beam out the window. Like, that's it. They kill Cinderella by just firing the beam, and that's it. Like, they're like, ah, shit, we're fucked. And then it's just like, beep. And that's it. That's the end of the... And you're like...
God damn.
Like, the dude...
Power Scale returns.
Yeah, Bongo summons the sword, and then the dude shoots the bullet out of the window, and that's it. That's the end of the movie.
Listen, our man Kubo is not the best at power scaling. That's just not his. It's not his forte. I mean, he's really not even a great. He's not a great storyteller to begin with.
Art is so.
He's a beautiful artist.
But the art though.
So good.
I think
the fight scenes, the combat.
He has great fight choreography, especially in art. Incredible fight choreography, and I mean, I do think he is, because he's just had enough time to stew on Burn the Witch. He's come up with something that I really have enjoyed so far. Yeah. I hope it doesn't become too messy. I think as long as it seems like he's taking it slow on purpose to just I
hope so.
Provide something that's really well thought out and well edited, and has enough team behind it to say, okay, this is actually going to be a lot of fun. And I hope he doesn't let it drag on. I think that's one thing. Obviously, with Kubo, when things drag on, it's like if you look at the first part of Bleach, it is still just a way better storyline. And as he gets deeper and deeper, it just gets more messy.
This week, actually, the Promised Neverland author wrote a new one-shot.
I heard that. I heard about that. I didn't read it yet, but
very cool.
I don't want to read it because I want to watch the anime and just let it flow. Yeah. But now, David,
have you read all the anime? Have you read all the manga, Jerry?
I haven't read the manga.
Promised Neverland?
I'm trying to enjoy just the anime. So season 2 will be brand new for me. I love
it's just a one shot. It's not connected with Promised Neverland. This is his second one shot now.
It's a one shot. Oh, it's not a Promised Neverland sequel one shot. Oh, it's just like a new. He's trying to start a new series.
It's looped in, because he did the photography one, the spirit photography, and now he's done this one.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'm actually kind of curious now.
It might be a lady who's.
What's it called, Kenny?
I don't know. It's attached to Promised Neverland though.
Okay.
Which is weird because it's its own story. Like,
are you sure it's not in the world of Promised Neverland?
It didn't. I read it. It didn't seem that way.
Interesting. Okay. Cool. Okay, so Dave, you were going to say something about Bleach a minute ago.
You were going to say something about Bleach.
You forgot.
Swords are cool.
I forgot. Yeah, swords are cool. What was I going to say?
Orihime's titties are huge.
Yeah, they are. I think I brought up Bleach because we were talking about protagonists that lose and win, and
right.
I thought of Bleach and I thought of Attack on Titan because Eren gets his shit kicked in.
Oh yeah, Eren does
all the time.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of his I would say that he never wins.
Eren has a lot of plot hacks though. That's why he lives through everything, and there's always someone protecting him. He just has a lot of plot armor that just protected him because it's like, oh, his body was mauled to death, but when he turns into a Titan, it all heals really fast. You know what I mean?
Spoilers for Attack on Titan.
Sorry, yeah. If you haven't seen, that's like season 1, I think, the end of season 1.
Yeah, it's like episode 4 or 5.
Yeah. So, but you know what I mean? Like those, Hajime Isayama. I think that Isayama is one of the few people that, as he went on, his story got better. I think that he started rough, and he got rougher, and he slowly salvaged it and made something really cool. I think that, and I don't know how much of what he's doing in the end game of Attack on Titan was planned out from the beginning. I'm not sure, just because of the way that I've watched Titan, I'm not sure that he actually had it all planned out, but he has worked it in very well. I won't spoil anything for you, David, but season 4 has been a banger. Season 4,
the anime subreddit's been
very good. It's just
cooming.
It's
all
crazy
over.
because season 1 of Attack on Titan standalone, cooming.
Cooming. It's a Twitch thing.
Okay. So
what? That's
I know.
funny.
Weird?
It's funny. It's
I think
funny. It's funny. Season 1 of Attack on Titan, good shit. It's good shit. It's not super complex. Season 2 of Attack on Titan, there's an attempt to add layers and levels of complexity that failed, in my opinion. I think that Isayama just didn't hit the mark all the time. It was too much. It was too weighty. He didn't really nail the tone. The shift was too abrupt. I think there was a lot of messiness. Season 3, it slowly cleaned itself back up. And I do think the anime has improved what happened in the manga. I think that the animation, the quality of it, the pacing has made... Titan is going to always be one of those things that I will always probably encourage someone to watch it, don't read it. I mean, it's not that Isayama is bad or anything. I just think that the anime has actually made the series better.
With Studio?
Yeah, I mean, Wit and Mappa now, jeez, what a fucking stellar team to take over your anime. I mean, to have Wit do 3 seasons and then Mappa conclude it for you, like, just incredible. But yeah, so near the end of season 3, it all starts to really, the layers that he tried to add in season 2 start to pay off, and by season 4, you are much more invested in the world of Attack on Titan, and I think that's where I can't compare it to anything else. I don't know a shonen that has gotten better with time. Time made it get better. Most shonen, after their 300 chapters, they just get worse. I mean, they just inarguably get worse.
Well, Hunter x Hunter gets better every time.
Maybe
every new chapter,
right.
I'm happy about.
I think the Chimera Ant arc is the definitive best arc of Hunter x Hunter. I mean, there's just no question. Like,
I think One Piece has gotten better.
And One Piece, yeah. I mean, I think that some people might argue, like, right after Whitebeard, there was some messy period. But obviously, to me, like Whole Cake and Wano, Whole Cake and Wano, I think Fishman Island is an okay arc. It's not the best. I think Whole Cake and Wano are 2 of the most sprawling, intricate, well-told. Dressrosa is an amazing read in the manga. I enjoyed watching the animated version, but I know the anime version really made people hate Dressrosa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
it
just got...
It's stretched out, right?
The issue with Dressrosa in the anime, it's not that, like, Whole Cake had got the same treatment. It also became like a 1 chapter to 1 episode pacing. So, they kind of dealt with the same things. The issue was with Whole Cake, they brought the budget up, so the animation, the quality, and the extra content they were padding with felt more beneficial, it felt more worthwhile, and the art of the whole arc of Whole Cake is really well done. Dressrosa, for some reason, I don't know if people got fired. I believe, if I remember correctly, what happened is that Dragon Ball Super had started, and a lot of people that were working on One Piece got siphoned off to go work on Super. If I'm remembering correctly, this is the story. Someone in the
same
comments,
studio, right?
Correct me. Yeah, Toei does all this. I'm pretty sure what happened is that a lot of One Piece's team that was working on this got pulled over, got stretched really thin. They were having to do a lot of work to save Super, make sure Super did really well. So One Piece suffered, and because of that, Dressrosa ended up with a lot of like dead shots. So like how like when an anime wants to save money, they'll draw a really nice picture and they'll just pan from one side of the picture to the other. For like 20 seconds, as an establishing shot, which is really just it's unnecessary padding. And Dressrosa really got stumped by those. So instead of what they did in Whole Cake, which is they like added a lot of what a lot of people are starting to call it is implied filler. So it's like, let's say Oda in the manga draws one panel where Sanji like kicks a small Whole Cake minion and like knocks him out, right? Right. And then that's it. And then it like clips to the next part and like all the minions are dead and Sanji has completed his job, right? So the anime will take that and they'll say, okay, this is a great time to animate a full fight scene with Sanji and the minions, or add a little bit of action and maybe some tension there because clearly something happened. It just doesn't we didn't see it in the manga. So Whole Cake really mastered the implied filler, and Wano has done a really great job continuing that and including a lot of implied filler that has made my experience with Wano as an anime really, I think most people that are manga fans and anime fans of One Piece have enjoyed the anime version of Wano. Now, some people might disagree with me. Wano, how do you guys say Wano? I've always said Wano. I feel like some people say
I say Wano. I've heard people say Wano.
Yeah.
I say Wano.
I feel
but
like
I don't know
I'm
if
gonna
that's
get
right.
roasted in this podcast. No one's gonna make
I
it to.
just read it, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm looking it up.
I've always said Wano, but I do think some people say all sorts of stuff on it. But
How do they
beside
say
the
it
point.
in the anime?
I'm trying to think of how it would be pronounced in Japanese. It's probably pronounced Wano if I were to actually say it. It's probably pronounced Wano because wa is
The
a Japanese
katakana
symbol.
Wano.
Yeah, it's Wano.
Yeah.
Um,
Wano.
So it's probably Wano. So fuck me because I've been saying
You're
Wano this
fucking
whole
it up.
podcast.
Wano, you goddamn fucking fake weed.
Wano, I'm a fucking
God.
America, brother, America.
Jeez.
Me and my Wano friends,
Fake
y'all.
weed, bro.
Sorry, Wano. I need
Wano.
to correct that, Wano. But yes, everyone's gonna roast me for the first 50 minutes.
Nah.
Wano has been a great arc in the anime.
Don't you
and
like manga?
There's two reasons that have made Wano such a great arc in the anime. One is that despite the 1 chapter to 1 episode pacing, which we're still stuck with, despite that, the anime team has done a really great job extending scenes in a way that has felt natural, has felt comfortable, has felt almost like it's kind of like you just get like a little extra than the manga, right? Like as a manga reader, it's like I get to watch the anime and actually kind of enjoy it because there's just a little bit more spice. There's a little bit more fighting, a little more action, maybe some implied or some additional jokes added in, maybe even some a little, like let's say, I'm trying to think. I think the scene where Drake and Hawkins discover the Straw Hats in the bathhouse. It's an early Wano scene. Wano scene. It's an early Wano scene. And in the manga, I think they just sort of like show up. We get like one clip of them being noticed by the Straw Hats. Sanji is invisible. He helps them escape. And then they're like out the door. They were able to turn that into a full like sort of like a half battle scene. Lots of like comical moments. They added some duck and dive. Some like Hawkins and Drake kind of messing with people. Which most like, again, it's like stuff that probably happened, right? It's stuff that doesn't really change the character. Doesn't really change the plot. It's just kind of like fun additional building scenes that lets you to just kind of see the scene more, right? In Oda's version in the manga, it's like 3 panels, but in the anime, you really get to establish where we're at, what's happening, how this is happening, and why it happened. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but it doesn't annoy me. I mean, they've done a thing where, the anime is only like 18 minutes of episode every week. So there's very little, 18 minutes of episode. Generally, there's about 12 minutes of chapter content to cover. So it only gives them about 4 or 5 minutes of like stuff to do in addition. And usually that works pretty well. Usually that doesn't really mess with me. I don't know. I think I'm the only one that still watches the anime here.
Yeah.
So,
No thanks. I'm still like on episode 300. I'm just sticking to the manga.
Right.
One of the worst times they ever because I didn't watch Dressrosa, but I bet it was similar to in Impel Down. Basically the filler for every episode, no matter what, it would cut to Buggy and Mr. 3 for 3 to 5 minutes every episode, and it was always stuff that didn't happen in the manga, and it was just like you knew that whenever it cuts to Buggy and Mr. 3, that was it. That's your filler content for the episode. And it was just like, it was goofy. Like it was like you were just walking away from what was going on. Sort of. And so I'm happy they've gotten way better at it.
That style of implied filler came to a head in Dressrosa, right? Like that is when it's what turned people off so much. When they were Dressrosa is when they just dropped the ball on doing that. Because I think people were still enjoying it in places like Impel Down. I mean, Fishman Island, I think people did feel it a little bit already. I think Punk Hazard felt better in the anime. I love Punk Hazard's anime adaptation. I think that they did a really good job with Punk Hazard. Its pacing feels a little bit more on the money. But then Dressrosa just drops completely off. And it's like, by episode 30 or 40 of Dressrosa, you're like, wow, what is happening? It's like...
Impel Down was like, it was just after, that was whenever they stopped doing filler arcs, right? They started just buffering the filler in. I think that happened around the time that they started doing it.
We actually started getting close to a 1 chapter to 1 episode pace all the way back in the first couple times it started happening was in East Lobby and Water 7.
Really?
Yeah, you actually started getting some of that back then. you were still maybe getting like a chapter and a half. Occasionally you'd get a 2-chapter episode, but most of the time you were already getting a 1-chapter episode pace. Only the really early One Piece was like 2-chapter and episode pacing, because I think when they first started it, they had every intention of doing extended filler arcs, 20, 30 episode filler arcs. And I'm not sure when someone in the production team, because if you remember back then, even like as late as Skypiea, they were doing 10, 15 episode filler arcs. Yeah, they would do standalone arcs. Somewhere around then, someone was just like, nah, we're not going to do that no more. And that kind of happened. It started in Enies Lobby, or Water 7, and then kind of barreled into Enies Lobby. So Thriller Bark is I believe it's almost a full 1-chapter, 1-episode pacing. You still get like, One Piece, the anime still does do like 4-episode fillers in between arcs. It's like minor buffer periods that are usually like, the last couple were like movie tie-ins. So it was like, they did one for, the one that just came out. Was it Strong World? Is that what it was called? No, Jesus Christ. What was it called?
One Piece movie Gold? I don't know.
No, Gold, Z. It's one of those. Z, Gold, Strong World. No, those are older. It's whatever. Stampede. Thank you. The latest one was a Stampede tie-in. The one before, I know they did a Strong World tie-in. They did do a Film Z tie-in. So you know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of what they do now, is like take little month breaks where they do sort of standalone movie style content. But they only really do it between major arcs. So like Wano has just been like pile drive through. I mean, 1 chapter an episode. But again, I have enjoyed watching it in the anime. I've really enjoyed it. I think that they've actually done a pretty good job maintaining that 1-chapter episode pace and not making it feel dull so far.
Yeah.
What's the lag?
What do you mean?
So like we'll say like the manga is
God.
a chapter 1000. Like what manga is the anime on right now?
The anime has maintained a 30-chapter gap intentionally for a long ass time. Okay. But there was a COVID-19 related delay in the middle of 2020. And so now the distance is almost 50 chapters. So it is interesting because they didn't change the pace after that. So like after the COVID-19 break, they just continued on as normal, 1 chapter an episode pacing. But now there's like a much larger gap in, cause One Piece, the manga, didn't really go on a COVID-19 break. Maybe we lost a chapter or 2 this year, but like,
I think it was 2 chapters.
The anime was like on hiatus for like a full, like, I mean, I want to say it was 2 or 3 months during 2020. So, we lost like a lot. So I don't know if they're going to, some people are suspecting that maybe they'll pick the pace up during the Odin flashback, intentionally, because the anime kind of dips in ratings when Luffy's not on screen. So maybe they'll try to pick the pace up to just barrel through that to get back to Luffy stuff.
1000 on 1000 too.
Right. So right now it's really odd. The episode number is an episode in front of the chapter it's adapting. So like episode 956 adapted chapter 955. So like the anime episode numbers have now surpassed the chapters they're adapting.
Wow.
So I do hope that with the Odin flashback, which should start like in a week or 2, I think we're about to hit it in the anime. I hope they just pick up the pace, do like 2 even if it's just a chapter and a half an episode, so that every episode is 3 chapters instead of 2. Every 2 episodes is 3 chapters instead of 2. I think that would be a fine pacing to just recatch back up. It wouldn't close the gap that much, but it would at least get us maybe closer to that like 30 to 35 chapter difference, and it would close the Odin arc up a little bit faster. And I think we would all enjoy the Odin arc more at a slightly upped pace, because then you don't have to worry about any implied filler or anything when you're messing with like the history of these characters. But I don't know. I'm also up in the air about it. The Odin arc also has a lot of lengthy like dialogue scenes.
Yeah.
It had a lot of
exposition heavy.
Exposition. Yeah. So I actually think that doing a chapter and episode pace will probably be fine if that's what they end up doing. It'll probably be fun to watch is what I'm getting at. But the main reason why Wano has been so fun to watch is that the anime team, the animation team, has been on one. Like, really way better than they've ever been before. The team has just stepped up the quality of the animation so much more. So it's so much more fun to watch because it no longer looks crappy off model, You know, you're not getting stale shots. You're not getting establishing shots that scroll across the screen. You're getting a lot more action, a lot more fluidity, a lot more. It just feels really nice. So you guys should check it out.
Well,
I won't, but I love One Piece, so I'll keep reading the manga.
Zoro,
One Piece chapter 1000.
Yeah, we've done it.
Books.
It's in the books, boys. It's in the books. I do think he's taking a 2-week break, right? Or yeah, I think he's taking a break again.
Yeah, because he was rushing. He was rushing to get it done before the new year.
He skipped over his break. He usually does one chapter.
So he won't have one next week, but then he'll have one the week after. So we'll get 1001 in mid to late January, which will be cool.
And he takes a chapter break every month, no matter what.
Yeah, he pretty much only does 3 chapters a month all the time. That's kind of Oda's schedule right now.
Although honestly, some of the art for some of the chapters, I totally understand. I think Oda is one of the best background artists in the whole or One Piece. Obviously he probably doesn't do them himself, but One Piece has an immense amount of background work that a lot of other mangas just don't do.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we haven't heard of any Oda and Takai are interesting examples of they used to work for Nobuhiro Watsuki. There's all these examples of established artists. I'm curious who has worked for Oda that now makes manga. I don't know if there's anyone that has come out.
Be that he just is
maybe
still doing his own thing.
Maybe we'll find out soon that Kohei Horikoshi or something was one of the background artists. Wouldn't that be crazy? I feel like it would not surprise me if one of the bigger manga artists in Jump right now was a previous assistant to Oda. If they've just never said anything about it, but if Kohei or the guy who writes Jujutsu Kaisen was oh yeah, I used to work for Oda, I'd be oh damn, I should have guessed,
The guy who wrote Jujutsu Kaisen drew Arlong for the chapter 1000 cover. That was really cool.
Yeah, I love
a lot of the other artists drawing One Piece characters is really cool. But they never pick cool characters. I thought that Arlong might have been the coolest one. Horikoshi drew fucking, what's that dude's name from Sanji's first arc?
Zeph?
No, the gold guy. He drew the
Don Krieg.
Don Krieg, bro. Fuck.
That's a good character, dude. F you.
And then the dude from the dude who made Toriko, he drew you remember the guy that was in the box with the afro?
Goemon.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Goemon.
Yeah.
Well, he drew that guy. I was why are y'all picking these characters? Come on.
Kenny, why aren't you picking these characters? Well, boys, David.
What was the guy that did Rave Master and Fairy Tail an assistant of Oda?
No, I think he's just a copycat. No, I don't know. Hot take, got him.
Fucking got him.
These nuts, got him.
Got him.
No, I have no idea. He may have been, but
I'm trying to hunt who are Oda's current assistants.
Yeah, I don't know if that. I just feel it's one of those things that is on the DL. They just nobody. You know what I mean? I feel like there is probably someone who secretly was an assistant to Oda, and it's just one of those things they keep under wraps. Nobody talks about it. Or maybe once Oda retires or is done, then people will start being oh yeah, I used to be an assistant on Oda, for Oda. That would be really cool to me. I think. To finally learn.
Do you think it's kind of like big dick energy to go to an agency or whatever and be yeah, I work for Oda? And
yeah, no, 100%. Can you imagine that? Oh yeah, I just casually stumbled. So I do want to talk about a couple other weird One Piece things now that we've covered. Chapter 1000 was amazing. Was it? Again, I said at the beginning, Oda didn't do anything to change the pacing of his story to make 1000 epic or anything. It was just epic because we're just at that part in the story. And like I said, I think 1004, 1005, 1012 are all going to be epic because we are coming to the conclusion of Wano. This arc is barreling towards its end right now. And I think that's...
Climax, baby.
Yeah, we are climaxing, dude. We are full on climaxing right now.
I remember on the pyramids in school, there's a word that happens right before the
rising action?
No, there's a just before the climax something happened. I don't know. I don't remember.
You're an English minor?
I don't remember either.
Pyramid in a long time. Bro.
I don't really think about.
I think it is rising action.
Rising action is what I would
Rising
think.
action does happen before the climax, but there's like an actual word that is like just before the climax. Like it's intentionally placed.
David is Googling. You can see it in his eyeglasses, dude.
I'm doing what I do best.
He's got it.
Googler.
Okay, so interesting things about One Piece, right? First off, for the second year in a row, One Piece did not get the most manga sales in 2020, which is really, really disappointing. And also for the first time, so One Piece was number one for like 10 years straight. And then obviously in 2019, Demon Slayer just barely beat One Piece. So One Piece took second. 2020 One Piece now has dropped to third place. So this really surprised me.
Who did it, Jerry?
So first off, obviously number one was Demon Slayer again. And Demon Slayer, I can't even fathom this amount. So I'm going to say it, but like I'm going to put it in perspective for you guys. Demon Slayer sold 89 million copies of manga in 2020. 89 million copies of manga in 2020. And now I have to put this in perspective for everyone here. Every year, One Piece sells about 9 to 11 million volumes of manga, right? 9 to 11 million. Last year, when it got dethroned, Demon Slayer only sold about 12 million. Or last year, as in 2019, not 2020, because it's already 2021. 2019, Demon Slayer sold, I think it was about 12 million, maybe close to 13 million volumes of manga. And I think One Piece sold like 11 million that year, or something like that. It was close, right? It was a close call.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer sold 89 million copies in 2020.
Is that right? Did they even print that many?
I don't know. I was trying to like figure out and like, but everything was consistently showing that data as 89 million. And I like can't, that's like more than One Piece has sold in the last like 8 years combined.
How many volumes are there of Demon Slayer?
Here's how, that's one of the things that helps it, right? So there are like 28 volumes or something total of Demon Slayer, and it's over. So people were buying, one consumer was not buying 1 or 2 volumes of One Piece, right? So like with One Piece, only 1 or 2 volumes, maybe 3 volumes come out every year. So they only have a couple opportunities to buy. But in 2020, people were buying the complete series of Demon Slayer. A single consumer was buying 30 copies as opposed to 2 or 3, right? Mm-hmm. And then, I guess it just multiplied. It just, there was some sort of multiplicity effect that occurred, and it just exploded. I can't even, again, it's like, it's more copies than like one. So to perspective for you guys here again, as of this recording, or maybe the other day when I looked it up, it may have changed now, who knows. As of this recording, in 2020, Demon Slayer went from being, I don't even know if it was in the top 100 best-selling manga of all time, to, from the 89 million sales it made in 2020 alone, is now the 11th best-selling manga series of all time. It jumped to the 11th best-selling manga series of all. It is now, it eclipsed in 2020, the 12th best-selling manga series, just so you guys know, is Astro Boy. Astro Boy. It jumped Astro Boy. The 10th best-selling one, the one Demon Slayer is about to pass, guess what number 10 is? Fucking Bleach. It's Bleach. Demon Slayer is about to pass Bleach. One of the big three.
UFO Table they did so fucking much for this goddamn manga.
Where does Attack on Titan rank?
Titan's below, it's like 20, something like that. Demon Slayer jumped Titan, no question.
Yeah.
Demon Slayer.
Titan had a similar sort of like.
Demon Slayer. Right. My Hero, Attack on Titan, both of those got surges.
Well, My Hero is.
What the fuck is Demon Slayer? What the
you think people watched the movie and like not seen the anime? They just went in and saw the movie and they're like, "This is my favorite anime of all time," and they just went and bought the entire box set. Like after seeing the movie.
It's an anomaly to me. This is still something I'm trying to process. Like most people work for so long to get a smash hit manga like that. And I don't even know if I can credit it. I mean, so many people are pissed because also I guess the original author of Demon Slayer is not getting very much money from the anime. I guess she's not getting. So people are pissed. They're like, oh, she deserves more money. But maybe she. Okay, hot take. Someone's going to get on to me for this. The manga of Demon Slayer was nothing. It was canceled. It was shit. The anime is the only. UFO Table deserves the money. Her story.
I mean,
is not good. Okay, it's good. Let me rephrase. I think her story is good. I think it is. It is, the anime is just, without the anime, Demon Slayer was a canceled, dying manga that was going to go down as something no one would have ever read or looked at.
Yeah. Do you think
anime, UFO Table deserves all the credit for this. They took her story, they made it better than she ever could have. They improved it more than she ever could have, and they created something that has absolutely eclipsed anything she could have ever done. Or he. I don't know if it's she or he. I think it's a girl.
Woman.
It's a woman, right? I think it's written by a woman.
Jerry, do you think this is comparable to, like, say, like The Witcher, right? So the book series is successful, right? But the video game series, I don't know the comparison of book sales to video game sales.
I think the game way outsells the book, if I remember correctly.
So do you think is this kind of like a similar situation where you think, okay, the video game company, obviously they made the game, they didn't make the books, and it's not their source material, but they're making this own medium.
Yeah,
they deserve the money.
Right. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve a fat check. Like, she does deserve a fat check. It's her story and it's her character.
Oh yeah.
She's getting it.
And she is getting a fat. She sold 89 million volumes in 1 year and became the 11th best-selling manga of all time. Most of that money is going right into her. She is getting that money. She is going to be a millionaire. No question about it.
She's the 11th best-selling author of all time.
She's the 11th best-selling manga author of all time now. Like, I mean, she is, like, in 1 year gotten that goal. I mean, there's nothing, and it's all because of UFO Table. Whether she got a fat check directly from them or not, I don't know. But, and I get it. They probably paid her, but it was probably in a limited amount to just use. It was a usage fee. Right. They paid Shueisha the rights fees, all that stuff. And now UFO Table deserves to take in for their team some of that money. I mean, they saved Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I agree.
They saved it single-handedly.
They did.
They didn't just save it. They turned it from a canceled, on its way out the door manga series into a worldwide phenomenon. The fifth best-selling anime film of the year and the best-selling movie in Japan ever. That is also, UFO Table's doing. That is 100% their fault.
It didn't get canceled. It was just like she was asked to end it.
That is the Shonen Jump bullshit answer for canceled that they've been giving since iShield. Like, that is always the, wrap it up. It's this idea that, like, hey, you've done a really great job. You made it over 100 chapters. We like what you're doing, but your popularity is declining. We need you to wrap it up. You can have however many chapters you need, but go ahead and wrap it up. And
there's just like an argument online. People are like, it didn't get canceled. It didn't get rushed. And I'm like, if anybody's read
I heard the ending is terrible.
The end of Demon Slayer is rushed. Period.
And I hope
that's not a natural conclusion.
I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right fucking now.
It's gonna be awesome in the anime.
The anime is gonna do everything to correct the issues. It's gonna do everything to correct the issues. The anime is gonna become the definitive version of Demon Slayer. The manga will be the inferior version for all of eternity. You will always only want to watch the anime version. Insanity to me just blows my absolute mind.
It told us all of the fighting players, and then they fight Kibutsuji Muzan. So I don't like. They told us who the bad guy was in the in the third chapter. So like, it came to a special. I'm like, no, it didn't. Why you don't?
Yeah, it's all spoiler in me. I'm trying. I tuned you out,
but like, things happen very quickly. Very, very quickly.
I'm trying to enjoy the anime. I just can't. Awesome. I can't fathom what's going on with Demon Slayer. I can't put it into words. I also read that I guess the voice actors got paid a lump sum, based off their tenure in the industry. I think is what I was reading. So like the more tenured you are in the anime industry, you get a fatter check. But obviously the movie has made back way more. So UFO Table is just bringing in all those profits for themselves, not giving it back to the voice actors. Again, I don't know if that bothers me that much. Maybe I'm an asshole, but like the people who deserve this money are the animation team, the animators, and the company that made this anime. The voice actors did a great job. I can't say that. I can't disagree. The author of the story, she did a good job. It's a good story. The reason why people are watching Demon Slayer is not because it's a good story or the voice actors are good. It's because it's fucking gorgeous.
Animation.
It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
The animation studio.
Even in Demon Slayer,
the directors, the animators.
Go back and watch YouTube videos about it. Whenever it came out, we were like, this is pretty cool. It's a cool Shonen Jump manga. As soon as episode 19 happened,
right,
everybody was like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. I remember I was watching it thinking like, okay, episode 19. And when I hit it, I almost shit my pants. Yeah. I jumped out of my chair. And it's not like, again, it's not the story that was great. It's not the voice actors that nailed that scene. It was that the animators brought that shit to life. There was just the animators, the directors, whoever is the script writer who's putting the script on the page, those people deserve most of the credit for the success of Demon Slayer. Even if, it's like Witcher. I mean, Witcher was a great example, David. I'm trying to think of other examples. I mean, the Lord of the Rings movies, obviously the author of Lord of the Rings is dead, but the Lord of the Rings movies are maybe another example of another medium making way more money. But you know who gets credit for that? Fucking Peter Jackson. Yeah. Because it is his fault. Lord of the Rings movies wouldn't have been... What?
People talk about it still, like Lord of the Rings was sort of that first step to the nerdy fantasy, Lord of the Rings question prior to 2003 in a trivia game is not as substantially answered as it would be now.
Yeah,
because it's become a larger phenomenon because of Peter Jackson's movies.
That's what I'm saying. We got to give
Lord of the Rings
credit to UFO Table because this Demon Slayer is not Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is a canceled, on its way out, underselling, underperforming manga before UFO Table. UFO Table saved Demon Slayer, made it a massive success, created this woman's career. I'm not big, I hate that that's the case, but she's going to probably go on to write another very successful manga after this. I mean, no question about it. People are just too ready to see what she does next now because they want more of this world. And Kenny is gone late in the game, a late game for Kenny. Kenny shoots and he misses.
Wait, but Jerry, if this mangaka, if she goes and makes another story, do you think it would only be successful if UFO Table comes back and animates that as well? Because looking at the art, it's like the art's kind of mid.
I do think that whatever she comes out with next, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. And it's going to be very, people are going to be looking at it really hard. I mean, it's just like Samurai 8. I feel really bad about Samurai 8 because Kishimoto had a lot of hype to live up to.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
And he fucking failed. I mean, just to be honest. He's now back. Bro, he's now back on Boruto. This motherfucker, he tried to write something new, and it was an absolute abysmal failure. And now he's back on Boruto, dude. He's over here. He just is pulling a Toriyama and just sticking to his guns. I mean, Toriyama... Yeah. Toriyama, after years of trying other stuff or whatever, is just back writing Dragon Ball again. What kind of world? What world are we living in? But no, I mean, it just sucks because, she's gonna have a lot of stuff to live up to. If she nails it, there's certainly an opportunity there, though. If she really comes out the gate and gives us something great, it's gonna be a smash hit. I think whether UFO Table does it or not at that point. I think that she now has garnered people went and bought the manga, obviously. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it matters or not, they went and bought the manga in droves. But it's blowing my mind that this is happening because One Piece, I mean, maybe I'm biased. One Piece is just better than Demon Slayer. I don't know. It's not a better anime, fine, but in manga, it is a better manga in my opinion, and it always has been. Unfortunately, obviously, One Piece anime is wrecked and just all muddled through and whatnot, but the manga is just better, and I just can't fathom, why this is happening all the way, because like I thought My Hero would have done something like this. I might get in trouble. I think My Hero's better than Demon Slayer. I like My Hero better than Demon Slayer. I like Jujutsu Kaisen better than Demon Slayer, to be honest.
Yeah. I think Jujutsu Kaisen's power scaling is something that we haven't seen.
And I've only seen...
It's just so well done.
You know what I mean? I've only seen 13 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen. I like it better than Demon Slayer. I mean, I think overall I just enjoy it better. I think better character development, a better pacing, just better character moments and settings. I've really enjoyed it. Demon Slayer is actually pretty formulaic at its core.
Episode 19, though.
What? I mean, right.
No, episode 19.
But I mean, okay, but did you guys remember that episode where Gojo pulled this thing up? Dude, Mappa nailed that. Mappa, I mean, and maybe that's part of what...
that episode was wild.
You were episode 19.
But I do have to admit, Jujutsu Kaisen is experiencing... It's getting a Demon Slayer moment pretty much as we speak. I mean, I read that just from October to December, it sold 5 million copies of manga. From just October to December. It's getting its Demon Slayer moment now. And I just continue to remember, like, poor Black Clover. Just
I like Black Clover. I read it every week. Okay.
Poor Asta over here.
Oh shit!
Black Clover is like
I forgot about Black Clover.
Black Clover is like the perfect formulaic like bullshit.
Black Clover is like mine. I just feel so bad for Black Clover, dude. He's over here working his ass off, putting in all these chapters. His anime been going this whole time, about to hit 200 episodes. And these young guns just keep blowing him out of the water, dude. I just feel
200 already?
Bro, they almost have 200 episodes.
Damn.
Yeah. I think there's like a time skip that's about to happen. Asa's going to look really buff and old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But
it's like 6 months or a year.
Whatever it is. Okay, I just feel bad for Black Clover. Jump wants Black Clover to be one of its front runners, but it just isn't. I mean, it just I mean, when you have these stories like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen, The Promised Neverland happening that are just massively more successful, they're shorter form. Chainsaw Man, right? Like
Chainsaw Man's the best manga there is. Man.
Fucking Chainsaw Man, guys.
Chainsaw Man's gonna explode.
I just feel bad for Black Clover because it just
Nappa's gonna just.
Black Clover is the just like middle line of anime right now. It just sort of is existing. It's this generation's fairy tale. It's just, and it's literally they're both about magic and fairy kings or whatever the fuck it's about, wizards. I don't know. I feel bad for it. Okay, so the other thing though is so One Piece took third. It actually got behind a manga called Kingdom also this last year, which I thought was really interesting. I don't know if Kingdom has concluded, but Kingdom is a very popular manga series about.
Is that the romance?
It's sort of set in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms sort of era, and it has been a long running manga. Also very popular, very long established. Just doesn't really have any international fan base. It's very much a Japanese.
I meant and Chinese though as well.
Yeah, it's got a fan base that's not in the U.S. And so I was really surprised to see that it just barely beat One Piece this year. I expect One Piece sales to be really high in 2021 because the volume with Chapter 1000 will drop, and I fully expect that to be a dangerous volume. And so here's the other thing about One Piece. So there was this huge poll, sort of like, I think it was like a Japan-wide poll to try to decide like the best anime of something. It was some sort of really prestigious poll, and One Piece won. It took first place. And I thought that was really interesting because you know what took second?
Demon Slayer?
Fucking Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer still crept up on it somehow.
Wait, so what exactly was this poll? Like, was it based on like specific?
I have to find it. Some sort of Japanese something that was like very prestigious. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Demon Slayer is just a middle of the road shonen manga that's really enjoyable, but the anime adaptation of that went above and beyond what was in the manga to make the fight choreography and the powers the Shonen powers so exciting and exceptional that, like, Ufotable just blew it out of the water. I mean, Ufotable in general has just made some amazing anime. Like, I think Unlimited Blade Works is one of the best, like, anime that exists, maybe.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that.
Animation-wise, especially, just how...
And obviously, we talked about it here on the podcast. Make sure to go watch our whole episode we did about Fate.
Yeah, and they just... I don't know. They are great at making anime. I hope that maybe one day they could do One Punch Man if they do the rest of One Punch Man.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Don't even say that, Kenny. You know we would love that.
If they animated the current arc, if Ufotable animated the... Oh, my gosh.
Because Ufotable just elevates. And I think that whenever they have an amazing source material, they can elevate it even further. And I think that if they got One Punch Man, they could do something crazy like that. Because Yusuke Murata, I think, is the most talented manga artist in the game. Like, I think he's the most talented, period. Like, he's so exceptional in my mind. At least the type of manga that I like. He's exceptional. And
his spreads are amazing.
Yes.
And the way sometimes he draws like he's animating. Like, he draws almost like flip books, you know, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
I remember reading the Genos and Saitama fight, and it was like literally like going through like a flip book.
Yeah.
So it's
I found the thing. It was called TV Asahi's Manga Sosenkyo ranking. I'm not sure what that translates to. Sosenkyo. But yeah, the top 10 were One Piece, Demon Slayer, Slam Dunk, Detective Conan, Dragon Ball, Attack on Titan, Naruto, Haikyuu, Full Metal Alchemist, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure were your top 10. So, I mean, I think that other than
Araki,
other than Demon Slayer, like, the rest of those top 10 are pretty comfortable choices, I think. Like, they make a lot of sense to me. Sorry. Maybe the only other surprise is that Haikyuu is at number 8 already.
I love Haikyuu.
I wonder if Demon Slayer and Haikyuu are in the top 10 only because they ended this year. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Are they writing their own finale and maybe they'll slowly move their way back down? Because like to see Haikyuu and Demon Slayer above Full Metal Alchemist just feels really odd to me. Like, I mean it's a recency thing. Like, Full Metal Alchemist is just it's old. It's just better though, right? Like,
yeah.
No, but like, is someone gonna actually try to argue with me that Demon Slayer and Haikyuu are better series than Full Metal Alchemist? Because I don't know if that's reasonable. I don't know if you can make that argument reasonably.
There's so many more people that are like in tune and like watching anime now though compared to 2012, 2013.
Yeah. I do think the next 10 are actually kind of interesting as well. With some really interesting lineups coming into the next 10. Because at 11 you get Hunter x Hunter. 12 you get Gintama, which I always forget how prestigious Gintama is as a comedy series. You know, I'd say, I mean, like, is there any other comedy manga that will ever live up to what like Gintama left behind? I mean, it just was going for so long, and it's just a very serious.
And Dolphin?
Maybe if it lives as long as Gintama did. You know what I mean? Like, Gintama is very much the modern massive comedy that it's our generation's Kochikame. When you look at comedy manga, because Kochikame is clearly also still a massive thing that lasted for super long, but it just kind of in its last 10 years or so just kind of was no longer hitting with the fans, right? But Gintama at number 12, Kingdom at number 13. Again, it's just so popular. Another surprise, World Trigger at 14. Doraemon at 15. World Trigger's kind of getting some like weird like hype again. Mainly because I think they're doing a new anime season, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I think they are.
I really enjoyed the original anime.
Doraemon at 15, My Hero Academia at 16, Yu Yu Hakusho at 17, Blackjack at 18. Again, another recency thing here. Jujutsu Kaisen is at 19 already. And then 20 is Natsume's Book of Friends. So it's interesting. Bleach didn't crack the top 20. Neither did.
The only Tezuka is Blackjack, or was Astro Boy on there?
No, the only Tezuka in this top 20 was Blackjack. Let me see if Astro Boy is on this list at all. Okay, Astro Boy's at 39 on the TV Asahi ranking. So it shows all the way down to 100, which number 100 is Dr. Stone. So shout out to Dr. Stone fans. We made it in the top 100. We are living our life. Really some interesting things across. Chainsaw Man is already at 58. Again, I think there's a recency thing going on there too. I mean,
Chainsaw Man's awesome, bro.
Will Chainsaw Man maybe eventually kind of, in my opinion, maybe move up?
Wait for the anime.
I'm feeling, yeah, you know what I mean? But Chainsaw Man's on this list pretty high up, more higher up than I thought. Especially because this is like an all-time thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like things like Inuyasha and Zatch Bell and stuff are on this list from years ago.
I mean, Slam Dunk was number 3.
Just mixed. Yeah, Slam Dunk is all the way up here. And Slam Dunk has built one hell of a legacy. And I forget that, like, people just still love Slam Dunk. Also, this was its 30. I believe this was its 30-year anniversary. So some people were kind of hype about that too.
How should remake Slam Dunk?
Oh my god, a redone Slam Dunk anime would fucking. I think I would love that.
Same opening song though. The opening.
Oh, I love the original opening. Yes. Oh yeah, but things like Hakuna no Ken at 22. That's an interesting one. Banana Fish is actually on here at 26. Ugh.
Banana Fish is really popular.
What? Banana Fish is really good. I wish you didn't rush the anime though.
Yeah. Promised Neverland.
The manga.
Promised Neverland at 46. Assassination Classroom on here at 51. Things like Prince of Tennis, Croco's Basketball in the 50s. Lots of really interesting. Kinnikuman in the 60s and Fairy Tail. Hitman Reborn in the 60s also. Some really interesting stuff is this list. Very interesting list. But obviously, One Piece reigns supreme still in that list, which makes sense to me.
Wait, is Black Lagoon in that list anywhere, Jerry?
That's a great question. I'd have to really.
David, I'm not seeing it anymore. I think the list disappeared, bro. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I mean, top 100, right? I mean, it's got to be in there somewhere.
Black Lagoon.
I'm not seeing the list anymore.
Claymore. I don't want to be that guy, but it does not look like Claymore or Black Lagoon have made the top 100.
We just can't see it. We can't see the list anymore, David.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
it could be on there. It could be. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I guess I just like shit anime.
No.
Hey, wait. Will you check for something?
What, Kenny?
Just Control F. Type in VAMPIRE.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Surprisingly, no sign of Vampire Night on the top 100. Somehow it didn't make it. It didn't make it, guys. You would have thought that at least Vampire Night, David's favorite manga of all time, would make it onto this list. But somehow it didn't make the list. I'm really just.
Didn't make it.
It didn't make the list.
I think I have to quit now. I have to quit.
Vampire Night did not make our top 100 TV Asahi list. Very weird, boys. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting that One Piece was still above, but just to see Demon Slayer at number 2 makes me uncomfortable. Like, I just don't know what to do about it anymore. Like, I just have to accept that, like, it's just going to be this popular. Yeah. It is a 20...
It'll fall off in a couple years whenever it's all done.
Right. I mean, like, the manga's already
anime
over.
hype beast?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but to me it's like, at least in America, I don't think we're experiencing it as much as other countries are, if that makes any sense. Like, I do think there is some Demon Slayer hype in the U.S. and amongst U.S. audiences,
absolutely.
But it does not feel like we are as hyped for it as the Eastern audiences. I don't think so.
I think My Hero is the big anime over here.
Yeah, in America, we love My Hero Academia. The U.S. loves My Hero, and that has not died. Like, we are still My Hero hype beasts over here in the U.S. Like, we love My Hero. When you walk into stores, there's like Walmart. Like, you can buy like My Hero merch at Walmart now. Like, T-shirts, you know what I mean? Like that. I mean, that just feels. It's like Dragon Ball Z level over here. Like it's on that level. One Piece is not and has never been at that level here in the U.S. My Hero is certainly at that level now, where it's
poor kids' fault.
Yeah, I mean, One Piece did get ruined in the U.S. thanks to fucking 4Kids, but yeah. So it's really interesting.
How did that happen?
We took a bite of gum. Gotta go. Oh, dreaming. Don't give it up. Sorry. But. No, yeah, My Hero is still ours. Demon Slayer is fine. It is certainly not appealing to the U.S. audiences like My Hero did. I mean, which makes sense, right? Like, My Hero almost feels made for an American audience. You know what I mean? Like, just like One Punch Man. One Punch Man is way. I feel like it's way more popular here in the U.S. than it is in Japan anymore. Like I feel like One Punch Man.
We love superheroes.
We love superheroes.
Goofy superheroes.
We love
man.
superheroes. America just loves superheroes, and we're found. I mean, think about it. Our entertainment has been molded by superheroes over the last 10 years. You can't turn left or right without seeing Marvel in some way, and I mean, yeah, DC's not as popular. Doesn't change the fact that there's. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar. DC has made multi-billion dollars off of the films, movies, comics, cartoons, television shows, as well. Superheroes are just insanely massive.
Wait, have you all seen Wonder Woman 84?
Yes, David, we watched it. Okay.
Hey, David, your life is good.
Here's what I have to say.
It can be better.
But it can be better. I have to say, we can't get into a Wonder Woman 84 review here, but if you haven't seen it, spoilers right now.
Don't.
I went into Wonder Woman 84 thinking it was going to be the worst film ever created. Okay? I read like 2 hours of reviews before I watched it. I don't know why I did that, but I was just reading all these reviews, and people were describing it as a steaming pile of human fecal matter. Like, they were describing it as the worst film. I mean, people on Reddit were just like, I cannot believe this film ever was created. The script must have... it passed through so many hands, and but all this. I read so many comments, of all this shit. So when I watched it, I was like, kind of impressed. I was like, this is not as bad as like the internet is making it out to be. Like, people were overreacting, is what I'm saying. Because of that, my expectations were really tempered. I went in assuming it was going to be really, really, really bad,
and it was just like pretty bad.
It was mediocre, right? It was just like. It was
this
not
is boring.
It was just not. It was just not. Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't Wonder Woman the first one by any means.
And it looked so shoddy. Like the
why did all the colors
the action and like
there was
it
a
just
couple
looked so bad.
There was a couple CG scenes that fell short. Some of the CG scenes looked completed. Some of the CG just didn't look done.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can describe it. Like, there were 2 specific shots of her flying. One was her first shot flying, and it looked ridiculous.
Yeah,
and then
whoa.
Yeah, like she was like, "What?" It looked like they had her hanging on a wire in front of a green screen, dude. It was made in some dude's like bedroom. But then the final scene at the very end of the movie, she flies again, and it looks fantastic. And I remember looking at that, going like, they clearly can do this. What happened with the earlier scene? Did they just not finish it?
DC has been making my man Superman fly for 4 movies now, and he's looked awesome.
Henry Cavill in Man of Steel looks great flying. He really does.
Yep.
So I'm so confused why that one choppy scene of her flying made it into the final cut of the film. That scene just could have not been there because it was clearly unfinished, and it would have been the same movie. You know what I mean? Like, they just
released an unfinished movie basically to meet
what it felt like.
that Christmas deadline,
which is really odd because the movie was supposed to come out in June.
Out way earlier. Yeah.
So it makes me believe that like back in March when everything shut down, they were nowhere near done. And then from March to June, they were like, "Fuck, we didn't do anything." They just like fucking procrastinated for 6 months.
Yeah.
They're like, push it to Christmas. And then like in November, someone was like, "Oh shit, did anyone finish Wonder Woman? Oh fuck." I just imagine like one producer like emailing like, "What do you guys do? Oh, we've moved on to other nobody finished Wonder Woman. We have to release it on fuck." Some guy like some fucking interns like sitting here like editing the clip at like midnight before on like December 23rd. Like, these fuckers are making me release it.
Got some graphic designers from Fiverr.
Can you make the sky?
At the end of the day, it was not Suicide Squad. You know what I mean? Like,
it wasn't Suicide
1984
Squad.
Suicide Squad was funny though.
No, but 1984 was better than Suicide Squad.
But it was worse than
It was
Aquaman.
also better than Thor 2. Like, Thor 2 is a terrible film. Go rewatch Thor 2.
Okay, but was
Thor
it better
2?
than Thor Ragnarok, bro?
No, Thor Ragnarok was better than Wonder Woman 1984.
Thor Ragnarok's my favorite Marvel movie of all time.
What I'm saying is, and yeah, Wonder Woman 1984 was worse than Birds of Prey and worse than Aquaman and worse than Shazam. I think Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey were all better movies than 1984.
Yeah.
which but those are some of the better DC films that come out in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? Like
Shazam is like my favorite DC movie.
Shazam was
really good.
And people like kind of forget they kind of slept on it. It kind of got slept on. It was awesome. One of the best maybe the best DC film they put out in years. But Aquaman, Joker's one of my favorite movies, like maybe of all time. Yeah. But it's
is it in the same universe?
It's not. No. Shazam is, but not Joker's its own universe.
Right. The Batman is part of that universe.
I don't know how we got from we got from One Piece to Wonder Woman, but
well.
Random tangent.
We're here now.
Was awesome.
Yeah. No. We don't need to, we should probably start wrapping up soon, but final thought on Wonder Woman is that it was nowhere near as bad as the internet wanted it to be, because I just feel like someone watched it and wrote something online first thing, and like everyone has just parroted that. Like no one is having any sort of like critical thought about it anymore. It's
a hive mind. It's like with everything nowadays.
Now,
but it's also, I need to be very clear. It's also not good. Like,
no,
it isn't good.
There were faults in the plot. There was shoddy CGI. The best thing to me was, I think some of the performances were actually pretty good. I think some of the dialogue out of context was actually pretty good. I just think the plot itself was not as thought out as it should have been. And so it led to this kind of muddled race to the finish kind of feel. And I kind of mentioned it right after I watched it. It felt like Jeff Johns wrote an entire season of television, and someone was like, cut it down. And when he cut it down to like 2.5 hours, they were like, good enough. You know what I mean? I feel like he wrote 6 to 8 hours of plot and thought he could just cut it down to 2.5 hours and it would still work, because, I still have 2.5 hours. That's a lot of time. But it just didn't work anymore. Like, Cheetah's subplot could have been completely removed from this film. And if they had just turned this into like a cheating corrupts absolutely story between Wonder Woman and Pedro Pascal, that's a better story already. That's just already arguably a better story without Cheetah there. And then also eliminate Steve Trevor. Make it just Wonder Woman coming to terms with the idea of using cheating. She has all these things that she could have been challenged to do. Make her come to terms with the idea that cheating is bad. And Maxwell Lord have to learn that, despite him being kind of a good guy, he had the wrong intentions. And all of a sudden you could have had a tight hour and 40-minute Wonder Woman movie that would have been much more palatable. And instead you have a 2.5 hour bloated rom-com / superhero movie /
I agree with Josh. Stealing is bad.
Stealing is bad.
Stealing is bad. I just want to say that I agree with Josh.
Yeah.
Stealing is bad.
Stealing's bad.
Okay,
Don't steal.
Let's take this home, guys. We won't do an unravel, Kenny. We've already unraveled so much anime today.
That's true.
We unraveled Wonder Woman 84. That was the unravel.
I've got some good ones in store. Okay, I've got some good ones in store.
We've got more unravel. So this is our One Piece Chapter 1000 special. One Piece is good. Wonder Woman's bad. Demon Slayer is an amazing anime, but a meh story at its core.
Stealing is bad.
It's crazy how great Demon Slayer is doing in sales, but we're still proud of One Piece for winning and doing what it does best, which is just continuing to stay consistent and quality. If you
Black Lagoon should have been in the top 100.
Yeah. Black Lagoon. Everybody let it be here.
And Vampire Knight.
Black Lagoon and Vampire Knight were shafted out of TV Asahi's top 100 manga. They've made a fatal critical mistake.
Yep.
But yeah, just if you don't read One Piece, start now and read it. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's hard to say. It's not perfect, and it'll never be perfect, but it is certainly a formula for shonen that later authors need to lean on, because Oda knows how to develop a setting and a character in ways that shonen authors just don't care about. No other shonen author would dedicate time to a character like fucking the Oda example. I'm forgetting his name. Senior Pink.
Yeah.
Did Senior Pink deserve a backstory? Probably not. Did Oda give that man a backstory so that we could understand as an audience member why he was dressed as a giant baby? He sure as hell did. And that's the kind of stuff we need. We need that. And it doesn't need to... Right, so like, if Oda had just added a line where Senior Pink was like, my wife was killed, and I dressed up as the baby, that would be telling us, right? Oda is the master of showing us what's happening in the story. And he showed it to us. We got to learn it through accurate character dialogue, living the experience with Senior Pink. Yeah, it was only a couple panels in the manga, but that is the sort of thing that Oda does that no other author can match. It's something that Horikoshi needs to start learning because he has a bajillion characters and needs to clean that shit up quick. And it's something that Demon Slayer probably should have done better. But maybe it gets better. Kenny, tells me the manga doesn't get much better. But crazy. One Piece has 1,000 chapters. And
you did it, boys.
It'll have 100 volumes by the end of the year also. End of 2021, I believe. So 100 volumes of One Piece. So crazy. If you've made it this far in the podcast, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, the Uncensored Anime Podcast. That really helps us out. That's where you can actually watch these in video format if you are listening to this on a listening platform. Additionally, please give us a like and a follow over on Apple Podcasts. That would really help. I know that helps with the algorithm. Follow us on Spotify. Wherever you're listening to this at, make sure to follow, tune in. We're going to, yes, we took a month break. Sorry, it was kind of unprompted. But obviously it was the holidays. Come on. So we're back in it weekly again. Still be getting weekly content. We're obviously going to go over our winter anime list most likely next week. We got to talk about what we're watching for the winter. And then most likely do a first episode reaction where we react to the first first episode of 13 new shows. And we'll only do new shows, no sequels, none of that mumbo jumbo. Only brand new anime. We'll react to 13 brand new anime on an episode of the podcast as well. So you can be on the lookout for that with the winter season. And then we still have a couple reviews that we need to do from some anime that boiled over from last season that we really wanted to talk about, and some kind of critical anime that ended up shaping 2020 that we would like to get our hands on. Maybe like Keep Your Hands Off Aizoken is one we've talked about. So you could be on the lookout for hopefully a review of that here on the podcast sometime in the future. As well as obviously wrapping up shows like Akudama Drive and Tonikawa, which were kind of fun shows that came in last season that we all started together and that we've kept up with. And as well as maybe a Jujutsu Kaisen episode coming up, because a lot more has happened there and we need to talk about it. So very great show. So be on the lookout, stay subscribed, stay followed here on the channel. We love you guys. Any support, you can also follow us over on Instagram at the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We do have a Twitter at the Uncensored Anime Podcast. We're on all the things. All the things. So hit us up, be a part of this, and let's keep it going. So thank you guys so much for being here. This is the Uncensored Anime Podcast, and we're saying peace.